have some troubling news. Basically, it's about the situation in Russia and Ukraine. The situation has actually taken on another dimension entirely. Up until this time, there's been some kind of shall I say restraint, kind of even though we're having the should I say the Russian invasion of Ukraine, called limited military operations. Now, um, up until this time, there's been, I mean, Russia has had the upper hand, and they still do, quite frankly. But we have a new administration that is coming in, by January. Now, what we are being told is this new news, basically, that just came up and actually says that the let me just open this quite quickly, that we've just had America just basically giving Ukraine a green light to actually use the Atacm missile, which has which actually has a very long range. And now, previously we've been saying that the possibility of a third world war is quite remote, but now it is even ever closer, and this is a very, very dangerous precedent. um Now, let me just share the screen here. you know for the life of me, I don't know why the Biden administration that is about to leave office will, you know why will they actually go down this route. This is something they should have left for Donald Trump to actually make, put his own stamps on it. People have voted and they actually want peace. So why, I don't want to say the Democrats, but essentially, so I will actually say the Democrats are actually involved in this. So either way, so it has to be said, why they will actually will want a situation whereby, why would they actually want a situation like this? It's rather troubling, um to actually have this sort of situation itself. I mean, anyway, just hang on a second. I've got my co-host coming up. um yeah, hello. Right. Okay. Basically, what we've actually got at the moment is, we've got this situation whereby, um the Ukrainians, they're already on the back foot. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. There have been several reasons that are being given for the Biden administration. Um, they've given several reasons, or rather, we have pundits giving several reasons to actually say that there is so much actually happening here. Hi, Akin, how are you? So you're
I'm
welcome
good.
on board.
I'm good. Today.
You're
I
running
was,
late.
yeah, sorry about that. I mean, I'm enjoying. I'm
Yeah, on the
enjoying.
football side of things, yeah,
I
you
was
were enjoying
enjoying
the
the
football
football.
too much.
Yes,
Ah,
sir.
okay, right. I hope your team actually won. I mean,
Actually,
well,
I was
it's
neutral. It was France and Italy. It was two
Italy.
five.
Ah, okay, all right. So who won?
The French won 3-1.
3-1. Wow.
Yeah, they played. They won in Italy. They played it in Italy, in Rome. So
Ah, the great Italian football team defeated like that. That is really mad. So that, I think that's some kind of revenge, from World Cup. Right. Okay.
yeah, that,
So we're actually talking
that.
about we're talking about the situation that is happening within Russia and Ukraine. Um, Today, I think just a couple of, I don't know whether it's some few hours ago, probably like over an hour ago, Biden, we've been told, has authorized Zelensky to use the Atacm missile, right, that has over a range of about 180 miles. They've authorized them to be able to use it to attack key military. I think there's some bit of restriction anyway. They have to use it in areas that are not recognized by the, shall I say, the United Nations and the Western powers. So right now it says Biden gives Zelensky the green light to fire long-range American missile into Russia for the first time, raising chances UK will follow suit with all eyes on Putin. Um, it says President Joe Biden has lifted the ban. The decision is a major U.S. policy shift and come as Biden is about to leave office. And President-elect Donald Trump has pledged to limit American support for Ukraine and end the war as soon as possible. U.S. official briefed the New York Times on the move in the wake of one of Russia's biggest aerial bombardment of Ukraine in the war on Saturday night. Now, I knew that there was some sort of attack in terms of the Russians are said to have launched attack across Ukraine, targeting the energy infrastructure. So it said the weapons are likely to be used in response to North Korea's decision to send thousands of troops to Russia in support of Russian President Vladimir Putin invasion of Ukraine, according to one of the sources. One thing that I have found that I must say is that usually we're always hearing, there is the Western narrative. Okay. Then if you look at it, right, Scholz, the German chancellor, I think that was yesterday, gave made a phone call, to Putin, and they spoke for well over an hour, and is in regards to ways that they can actually have peace. Now, for the Biden administration to actually come up, because almost immediately after that, it was said that that was when Russia launched the attack. So they are trying to make out the narrative that, oh, Russia is not really interested in peace, you know and for a lot of people, they are kind of skeptical about this. So, and I will do what usually we do. I mean, what we normally do is you actually check out the comments. And in this case here, let me just quickly do that here. So it's I mean, why would they actually want to do something like this? Trump is about to come in. People have said they want peace. Trump has demonstrated in his first administration, he never went to war with any main country. He never did.
No, who are the people that
So
went? No, no, no. The circumstances internationally at that time did not warrant for any war to happen. Let's not forget.
no, there were opportunity.
Wait, wait,
There were
wait, wait, wait,
opportunities
wait,
for
wait, wait, wait.
there were opportunities
No,
for it to
wait now.
happen.
Wait, let me talk. The
Hmm.
world has changed since Trump left office. The world has changed drastically. The international landscape has changed. Um, Israel, no
That
one
is
knew
not
that. No, wait,
that
wait, 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 wait.
that
Let me
is
explain. Let me explain. You know,
okay.
international politics is not something that is static.
Hmm.
It's on a daily basis. Anything can happen any second, anywhere in the world.
Of course,
Now,
I get that.
so no, wait. Let me just even explain. Um, the dynamics of what has happened in Gaza and Israel, nobody would have foreseen that maybe 2 years ago. It was based on a retaliatory thing that the Israelis have embarked on based on the attacks that happened in Israel. So it's nothing to do with whether when Trump was in office. Trump doesn't control the world. I mean, if I even remember in Africa at that time when Trump was in office, I'll fact check this. The Ethiopians were slaughtering each other in Eritrea and all that. Um,
Yeah, but
so
we're not saying. I
no
think that
wait
is
wait wait
different from
no no wait
America
wait wait
actively
no no
engaged
no wait let me let me
in a
finish.
proxy war.
No, let
That
me
is what
finish.
we are talking about
Let
here.
me finish.
So I,
Let me
I
finish.
don't want to widen the scope. That is
No,
why.
no,
So
no,
I
no.
just want
It's
us
where you
to.
are saying when Trump was in office. I'm just trying to even dig up something
Yes.
from my memory, and that's just from my memory. So it's not that one
Hmm.
person is a warmonger and the other one is a peacemaker. No, please
Oh yeah, it's
let's
obvious that Biden is
let's
a warmonger.
no,
There's
let's
no
get
doubt about it.
let's get that right. You see, we shouldn't play politics when it comes to things like this.
And we're not playing
You know,
politics. Everybody knows that.
no, no, no. Wait. Let me explain. Let me explain. We shouldn't play
Hmm.
politics. The reality there is that the Ukrainian issue and the Russian issue is a lot bigger
Hmm.
than we think. I mean, Russia took part of Crimea many years before they waged this war. The West kept quiet at that stage. They allowed Russia to do it. You know, international. So when it comes to maybe because I'm a student of political science and I study international relations,
I
so
know
this is
a
why.
deep
No, no,
story about
wait,
exactly what really took place about this.
Let me explain.
Okay.
When it comes to the sovereignty of states, there's a
Hmm.
general agreement within states that you're not going to attack any state, any other state, any sovereign state. The
Okay,
ex the old no, wait, let me explain.
I don't think
The
we can
USSR
actually talk about.
wait now. The
Do you know what
USSR
I
the
really
U,
wanted to comment on? Do you know?
you're not even letting me land. There's
Yeah,
a
because
backstory. No, wait,
because
no,
we're going into a long narrative,
no, wait,
which I actually understood what you're trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is this, right?
let me
Sorry
tell
that
you.
I'm
You see,
cutting you there because we really have some.
no,
We don't really have a
to
lot
under,
of time. That is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, I know, but we
That,
still need to get the
but
facts right.
but
We can't
but
take a story from the top
okay,
and now make
but
that the issue.
now
The issue
the
is
key question is this: why is he doing it now? Why now? That is the key.
wait.
He's going to leave
Because
office.
wait now,
The
let me talk.
American
You know,
electorate have
you know, I allowed
already
you to.
voted.
You know, I allowed you to talk. Let me talk, please. There's a backstory to this, and people need to understand the full facts behind.
I don't want us to talk
No,
about the
wait,
backstory because
wait.
it's going to
You're
be
not
a
going to cut.
longer.
No. You're not going to cut me on when it comes to that because I was already in
No,
the
no, no.
I was mid sentence.
I'm not cutting you off. Sorry about that. I'm not
Please
cutting you off.
let me
But
talk now. Let me
why
talk.
will he do that?
You know,
Why will he do
you
that
literally
now?
spoke
I
for a
can
long
tell
time
you
and I
that
didn't even
our
interject.
viewers have a very good idea. Okay,
But
go
you
on.
can't
Okay, go
assume
on.
that your viewers have a very good our viewers have a very good idea because
No,
not
no,
everyone has.
no.
No,
Honestly,
please,
because
that's an assumption.
that
Let us.
this thing has been going on for over 2 years.
Then let me talk now. You're not letting even me talk. You're just getting into
Because
my
you are trying to
trail
talk
of thought.
about what happened there.
But let
That is
me
not
talk
what we're
now.
actually looking at.
Let me talk, and then we arrive at
Okay,
where
all
we
right,
arrive.
okay,
I haven't
okay.
even left
Let's talk
Lagos.
about the two
You're
minutes.
already.
Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes. Talk
No, you're
about it
not
so
giving
that
me
we
any
can
2 minutes
move
because
on.
I didn't give you two.
No,
I didn't give
no,
you 2 minutes
no,
the
no,
last time.
no,
You were ranting
no,
and
no,
raving.
no, no.
Wait.
We can't go on about it. We have so many
Wait.
things. We don't
You're
have the
not
time.
letting me even talk now. Let me talk.
Okay, yeah, go on. I'm just looking at
Let
the
me talk.
time.
This is very frustrating.
Okay.
You're looking at the time, but when you are talking, I'm talking to somebody. Nobody interjected. You're interjecting every 10 seconds, every 5 seconds. No,
Okay, yeah, go on.
They let Putin take territory. When it comes to the sovereignty of states, these states are independent states. So you can't be saying that someone. That's where I was going with this, and that didn't take 10 seconds to explain. You cannot say someone is a warmonger when that person is trying to prove. That means that and say, "Oh, I want part of Finland. I want part of Sweden." That's not how international relations works. Now, and that didn't take 2 minutes to explain either. So the reality there is this: America would always see itself, due to the military size, economic might, and all that, as a country that would protect the rest of the world. It's always been something they've done since World War II. That's not going to clear overnight. So this issue of Putin trying to bring back the old USSR together is not going to happen.
There is nothing like that. Putin has been proven not to. He's not interested in that.
He is
So,
interested in that. His dream is that
nah, nah, I totally
his dream
disagree.
is well, you can, but his dream is to bring back the old USSR
I
together.
totally. That is a Western narrative. So,
No, well,
okay.
if it's a Western narrative, but that's what he's trying to
Mm.
achieve, But he won't achieve it. He's not going to be allowed to achieve it. You see, and then the West is not prepared to pander to any dictator's will anymore because they've learned lessons from World War
Why
II.
would you call him a dictator? He's not a dictator. He was elected by the
No.
Russian people. So why would you call him?
Whether it's a dictator, it's
No,
not a it's not a democrat. It's not a democrat either. No,
he,
the reality there is that the West. No, wait
he
now.
was
Let me
voted
finish my
for.
sentence.
It's a bit like saying
Well,
that America is not a democracy.
Today
America
we
is
all
a
know
democracy,
today we all know what
even
they
though
call
they use
elections in Russia.
lawfare against. No,
Let's not even go into that.
I
The,
know.
the,
So
the,
then
the, the,
don't call him a this in itself.
it was a
I'm not a
dictator.
Russian. I'm not,
He's a
I'm not
dictator.
a Russian apologist,
Is
but I want to set the record straight.
someone that has bullied these people into submission. So he's a dictator. So um
No, he's not.
the reality there is this. The reality there is this. You cannot keep pandering to the whims of someone that just wakes up every morning and wants a piece of another sovereign state. That is not allowed in international politics. We can talk over the table, but you cannot go into a country
They
and
told
invade them.
NATO, don't. There is a Russian red line. Don't. You cannot come to our. You can't come to our borders. They're trying to actually get Ukraine
He's not been
into
signed
the.
into NATO. He's not Ukraine hasn't
Nah.
even been signed. They've not even met the requirements to join NATO. There are certain requirements they need to meet.
Okay.
So obviously, but that's for another day today. That's not even for this argument. Because I can see all you are trying to do is paint black white in this kind of thing and make Putin
No,
look
no, no.
like.
I'm not
So
trying to.
are you trying
Okay.
to say Putin is an angel in all of this?
He's not. Neither is. I
But
didn't say he's an angel, but at the
why
same
you now?
time,
Why you not castigating Biden
neither
and then not
is
castigating? There's a balance.
the Biden administration an angel as well. In fact, they've been proven to actually they are acting in such a way and
Yeah, but the
manner
Trump
that
administration now, when they come in
I
with
mean
the angels, and
that has actually cost the Ukraine that's cost the Ukrainians so many lives. You know,
The Russians too have lost.
Zelensky
The
has been
Russians have
somebody
lost.
who has foolishly
Everybody,
allowed his
there's
people
no
to
winner
be
in this.
used.
There's no winner in this. The Russians have lost a lot
Yes,
of lives.
I agree with you.
So there's no, because
there's no
yeah,
winner in this. But
but who invaded who to start with?
would Zelensky allow his people in under the
Who
name of
who
we
invaded who
respect
to?
our rights,
But who
selective
invaded
democratic
who?
practices?
Who
It
invaded
just
who to
won't
start
fly.
with? You see,
No, no, no. Look,
this thing is not as
it was
simple
a
as you're thinking it.
provocation. That
It's
is
more
the truth.
complex.
That was the
So
provocation,
what's the
and they
provocation?
knew what they were actually doing.
When the Russians lined up at the borders of Ukraine with armored tanks, what was the provocation?
They
What
were
was the
told.
provocation?
They were
What
told.
was the
There was several
provocation?
instances. There
No,
was
what was the
provision.
provocation?
We're not really going to. That is not even so much that. We're not actually looking at that in such a very, short space of time. Because if not, we'll just be on this for hours. If we had started early, obviously. So this is what football does.
No,
You are the one that was watching friends, and meanwhile. I know that you
no, but
actually like the Italians, so the
no,
Italians now
I
that
don't like
they've defeated.
I don't like the Italians. I said I was neutral in it. I like England. I don't like the Italians. I
Okay.
don't like the French. England are my team in Europe.
Okay, let's take a quick look at this. Okay, so normally when I read this news, okay, what I normally do is that I actually go onto the comment section and begin to look at what people are thinking. Okay,
Mm.
now for me, my own major concern is the United Kingdom. Okay, Keir Starmer previously, whatever, if America moves west, he too moves west. So sometimes I'm wondering that why is it that United Kingdom cannot forge its own foreign international policy? It does not. Why it has to literally align itself with the American? I mean, I know there's a special relationship,
And you
you
can
know,
answer
because
your
when we're actually talking about international policy, talk about Iraq, what happened there, you know. Tony Blair actually went along blindly, I don't know, in the name of, it was just not fair. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people are like, look, when they talk about Western hypocrisy, in the Western world, there is no need for them to formulate anything. They were supposed to be, in the Western world, we're supposed to be like the custodians of democracy, democratic practices, transparency, equity, and justice. But when you're now twisting things, turning it in the name of trying to move the other or the other party bad, it doesn't bode well. I mean, look at what is actually happening right now.
I don't know where
And
you're going with this,
if you
but
look at it, right, okay, the key thing is this, right? Everybody's asking the question. Biden
what
is about to leave office. Why would they be creating this kind of situation? And there's a suspicion that the
is leaving
Biden
office?
himself is not really in charge.
No, he's
Let's
leaving
look at
office.
it, right? I've got this
Those are
comment from this American.
that's
Okay,
just
can you just
rumors.
give me a minute?
Those are
Okay,
rumors.
I've got this thing. I've got this comment from this American. It said the situation underscore a troubling disregard for global security. This is an American. Global security and the well-being of citizens that seems to define the current
Global
administration under
security,
current Biden.
global
Following
security was
his loss
threatened
to
the
Donald
moment
Trump
he
in the
went into
2024
Ukraine.
election, there
Global,
appears to be an increasing willingness to escalate tensions,
global,
particularly with Russia,
global,
in ways that could have
global security was.
catastrophic
And if
consequences.
you're going to talk about
The
warmongering
policies
out
of
of the
the Biden
country,
administration
it's
have pushed
actually the
Putin
Republicans that warmonger, they're
and
not the
Russia to the
Democrats.
brink, creating a very real and dangerous risk of nuclear escalation in Ukraine. Should the UK continue to involve itself in this conflict, we too could be find ourselves in the crosshair of a broader potential nuclear confrontation. This is no longer a distant possibility, but a deeply concerning reality.
Yeah, well,
At this critical
that
junction,
is,
it is my hope that diplomatic efforts, perhaps through intermediaries such as President-elect Trump, can help to de-escalate tensions. Now, then somebody else said, my thought exactly. I hope Starmer has been doing his best to discourage this decision, as this will have terrifying consequences for us too. I'm scared for our children, the warmongering men in power. This is what we're actually talking about. And yet, it is Russia that started the war that seek the help of China, Iran, North Korea. It's Russia that has been using their missile drones to bomb. This is a obviously, shall I say, a pro-war person. Fine, That is where I'm actually making. I'm actually reading both sides. Okay, so there's someone that said, "I agree. It is very worrying. Our leaders really couldn't give a stuff about us up to and including our remaining alive." That said, people in the majority voted on a party at the last election. And the key thing for me is just that. Okay. Look at this one. This guy, objective man, he said, "I'm not sure it is Biden making this decision. Those working in the shadows have been and are still making the decisions today." And when we look at what we know now about the Biden administration,
Have you
I
finished?
don't think I don't think they are the one making
Have
this
you
sort of
noticed I
decision.
did not even
You know,
interject 1 second? So
Americans have actually said that they voted overwhelmingly, electoral college, popular votes, hands down. It was a tsunami. They
so
want peace.
have you
They
finished?
want things that actually concerns them,
Because
not going to
I'm
Russia,
timing you here.
not,
You've been
not not
speaking
going
for
to
about 4 minutes.
Ukraine and trying to kick up some.
I'm
Go
timing
ahead,
you.
I'm
You
listening.
spoke about 5 minutes. I didn't even interject. I've been
I didn't
timing
speak
it.
up to 4 minutes.
No, you did. I've been timing it here on that clock.
I'm not. No, I didn't speak
No,
up
no,
to
no.
4 minutes.
I
I
know
only
what.
just read.
No,
I
no,
just
no,
read down there now.
no,
Okay,
no, no.
okay, go on.
I've been
Okay,
timing.
give your
But notice
response.
I did not interject 1 second, but it was four
I did
minutes.
speak to 4 minutes though.
No, you did, because I was timing. I purposely kept
Okay,
quiet
I'm
and I was
listening to you.
watching the
I did
clock.
speak to for 4 minutes.
No, you
Oh
did.
yeah.
So whether you like it or not, next time time yourself and then you see. So the reality you've forgotten that me, I don't do things without evidence.
Hmm.
The reality there is this. That
Hmm.
second comment you read, that guy said, "I'm not sure." That's already stated in that. That's just speculation.
Hmm.
You see, I don't do speculation. I do evidential based comments. You cannot, and then these are very delicate issues. Today, international relations is a very, very delicate thing. Wars would happen. Mankind would always wage wars.
So what
Civilizations have
exactly
waged
is
wars
okay?
against
So
each
what
other.
is your opinion on what
So
they are trying to do
at
now?
the end of the day, everybody knows
Mm.
whether war happens between countries, everybody still has to come around to the table eventually to talk. So even when Putin decided to invade Ukraine from day one, he knew where this thing would still end up. It would end up at a table where they would have to discuss this. And that is
But
why
he has
there are
actually
no
he
wait
has
now.
made several efforts for
You
this
see,
to be
you're
resolved,
interjecting. No,
but they did not.
Putin has not made any several efforts, please. But let me even land
Okay.
because you've not even allowed me. You see, you're interjecting, and then it throws me off my train of thought. You know, the thing is, in international politics, you still need to come round to the table, and this is where you see there, everybody can't be waging war against each other. Because
I agree.
if
Yeah.
no, 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 if nation states did that, the world would be a much more stable place. That is why there are international conventions, international bodies that have been set up since World War II to make sure that what happened with Hitler would not happen again to mankind going forward. And those organizations like the UN, the whatever different organizations that have been formed around the world, the EU, these are organizations that have helped maintain peace. So as long if you now go outside the remits of these organizations and you single-handedly want to wage war against a sovereign state, this is exactly what will happen. Nobody will want to take sides with you because based on international law, everybody will quote international law and say you didn't have the right to do it in the first place. And that is exactly what's happened here. So all this taking sides and bringing up comments, they're totally irrelevant.
It's not
No,
just
let
about
me finish.
okay.
Let me
I
finish
I
now
I,
because
I
I
get
haven't
that, but
landed. I
no,
haven't landed.
I'm trying to actually stay also
But no,
because
no, no,
everything
no,
I
no.
have
Wait.
said,
No,
everything
wait
that I have
now.
said
Wait
has to
now.
do with the current
You're
situation.
not
You
even
are
letting
talking
me land.
about the wider,
No, you're not even.
so
No, I'm not talking about the wider thing because this is the
yes,
thing.
you are
No,
because you're
I'm
talking
not.
about
No, you can't make
international
a judgment.
policy.
No,
Because
no.
everybody,
The,
we all know
no,
this.
no. Not everybody knows that. Okay,
I'm just
Do you
like
know?
the scope
Okay,
of
no.
our discussion
If
is
you say you know
why do
that,
you think
what led
Biden has decided to do
What
this?
is the Bretton Woods agreement? The way you say everybody knows what, not everybody knows all these things. It's an assumption. You see, this is what I'm telling
Okay,
you. Stop
can
making
we? I
sweeping
actually
statements.
get that. You see, this is a
Don't
very
make sweeping
broad
statements. Don't say that
issue.
everybody knows these things. A lot of people don't know these things, and
Okay, all right.
this is
Okay,
the
but
purpose of a
this
program
is
like
not
this, where
the,
we need
the,
to
the
discuss
thing
things like
about it
this,
is that
intellectually, and
I
break
I
things down.
okay,
Today we cannot be taking matters from
we've
the
had
top
well
and
over,
add
I think it's
sentiments
going
to
to
it,
like 2 years now. So
and then
what?
cook things up to be what they are not. I won't
Okay,
partake
all
in
right.
such a discussion. I'm
So
sorry.
for me, really, the thing is that a decision was taken today, and we're trying to talk about the response. So that makes it much more.
And but you
We
started
all
off with
know
someone
about
is a warmonger
everything
and
that
then
you have said.
coming up with
All of
comments.
us are actually
You know,
aware
no, all of
about
you are
that.
not. All of you are not.
Okay,
All
well,
of you are not.
anyway, the thing is
Some
that
people are.
a
Some
major
people are.
decision, a major
So, you
American
see,
policy shift
I do
has
not make
taken
sweeping
place.
statements.
So,
It's very wrong to make a sweeping statement because if
but
everybody
look,
do
the
this,
fact is this, right?
people
The
won't be.
fact is this. This is the headline, and that is what we need to talk. That is what I was
Yeah,
saying.
but behind the headline,
America
there's a
has
reason behind
given.
the headline.
It says Biden gives Zelensky the green light to fire long range. Okay, fine. So, what is your response? That's it.
No, no,
If we're
no.
going over,
I would go into my backstory, and I don't have any regret saying that.
no,
What?
no,
Yes,
we
yeah,
can't
because
do that
no,
now because
no, no, no. You
we've
can't say
actually
we
got
can't do
to
that. I have every right.
uh,
I have every right to
the
state my
only
own
thing
views now.
no
I have
look
every right.
yeah,
You
you
can't
can
tell
state
me that
your
you
view,
can't do that.
but
Yes, my
within
view.
the scope of what
You
we're
can't tell me that
discussing,
everybody knows things
you
and
are
all that.
not
That is
giving the
wrong.
scope. You are talking outside.
I'm not taking
We're not
outside
asking for the
anything.
history.
Today, can you
I'm not
stop
talking
just
about the history.
interjecting?
I
Because
didn't
what
tell
you
you
do,
about the
what today,
provocation or
what you do
anything.
very well
You
is
know,
interject. You spoke
okay,
for 4 minutes. You are even arguing this speak for four. I was timing. I did not interject for 1 second. I will speak for 10 seconds. You are interjecting. Please, let us just do this properly. Okay. So the whole issue you are talking about here, like I said, it's all to do with nation states protecting each other. Nations will gang up with nations against other nations that are. So whether Biden or the UK, this is exactly international relations 101 that you are seeing that is happening before your very eyes. So nobody's going to allow Putin to walk all over Ukraine and not support them. So whether he wanted to join NATO is not the issue. International relations would always, nation states will cooperate with other nation states to deflect attacks on, because we are not supposed to invade a sovereign state. He should have gone to the table. They could have negotiated this thing at the table. He didn't need to invade that place. He didn't need to go and start killing people. They didn't need to kill Russians too. This thing could have been totally avoided at a discussion. Not everything is war. Nothing is solved through violence. Look at the IRA here in Britain. With all the bombing they did, they went back to the table and negotiated their way back to the table. That is what happens eventually. So all this, Biden did this, Trump will do that, is irrelevant. The reality there is that there are hundreds of thousands of people dead in Ukraine and Russia today. All those young men that were sent to the war front have been killed, they're dead. They won't come back. And that's my point. So whether who did this or did that, I'm not interested. The
okay,
reality there is that
all right, okay, no
international
problem.
sovereign
But
politics, the states that will
it
defend
doesn't
each other.
answer. With all due respect, it's still not answering the key
Because I'm not
questions. Why did he
interested in
do
this
it
thing, because they're still
this
going to
time?
come around to a table.
Okay,
Whether
all
they
right.
green light anything doesn't matter.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
They're going to
Okay,
come to
okay.
a table
I actually get
and
where you are
discuss
coming
this.
from.
The
Okay.
end result is they're going
Mhm.
to discuss this at the table eventually, whether they like it or not. So what has happened today is irrelevant in the bigger perspective of the war. They are going to come
Okay,
around
all right.
and discuss this, whether they like it or not, because they can't keep killing each other forever. It's impossible.
Okay, all right. Okay, fair enough. Now, I just wanted a direct response to
You
the
just got
decision
the
that was taken.
direct response to it.
That's not the direct response. That
Well,
was like
that's
you're
what you
giving the
think.
history of why there should be peace. Where because if I should start on that, both of us will be here for the next.
No,
In fact, we'll be here
in
till
fact, I'm
morning.
challenging you. If you know the history, in fact, I'm challenging you to now do it, and I'll
Yeah,
see what you
that
do
one
about it.
actually
No,
we'll
no,
do that
no,
on
no.
the big mic.
No. There's an open
That
challenge now.
one we will
Let's
do
do
that.
it.
Okay, let's go to
Do it.
South Africa. Don't worry.
Do it
Let's
because
go
I will
to
floor you when
Ondo
it comes
State.
to all that. I will floor you when it comes to all that.
There's nothing to flog about. What
You
you've
are,
just spoken about is that anyway.
you are talking to someone
We'll
that
see.
has studied it.
Don't
You're
worry.
not.
No, no.
Don't go there with
Everybody,
you.
people have been going on around this issue for a very long time. So this one in itself, nah. Okay, right. On those states now. So I'm sure you are fully aware because I know that you have a lot of friends in Akure. So it says on those
But that's an
election.
assumption. You see where you make that's another assumptive statement.
Because yes now, but don't you have friends in Akure? There's no
No,
way you can tell me you don't.
you said because I know you have lots of friends. That's an
I know,
assumption.
yes, I know
That
you
is
have
an
now.
assumption.
Don't let me mention names on here. I mean, you want me to start telling you
I
names
know.
on your friends?
Mention them now. Mention them, and I'll tell you whether they live in Akure or not.
Under election, moment police officer ran while hoodlums snatched ballot box.
Ah. no be your. Shebi that's the country you said that is on the up.
Yes, now at least in America they did their own. Did they do their own? Eh? Try to chance.
Why do Nigerians always try to justify our madness by
I'm
what
not
goes on in
dispel
another country?
anything. Even in the midst
And
of
then
chaos, there is orderliness.
I don't recall
Nigeria.
it's federal law in America that you don't touch a ballot box. I can't recall anybody touching
Who
any
told you
ballot
that?
box.
Did you see the fire?
And
Look,
so
don't let
it's
me type it
no
out
no
for you.
wait
Did
now.
you remember that they
No
burnt
wait
ballot
now.
box during this last election? You are
If we are
aware.
corrupt in Nigeria, we all say it because it happens somewhere else. If we are this, we don't say let us
But it happened now.
let us
Did it
face
happen?
let
Okay.
us
Okay,
today
okay, okay. Let me
today
ask you
let
one
us
question.
face our
Did
lane.
it happen? Okay, yes or no?
Stop judging our
I, I
madness
said
in
I said
Nigeria
yes or no.
because
Did they burn
I don't
ballot box in America? Yes or no?
wait
Did they?
now. What I'm talking about is different.
Suspected to be part of the
Carrying
people
ballot boxes
of the Democratic
and
Party that
rigging
you
votes
support.
and rigging votes and rigging votes. Over share one. Yeah, you think you're in Nigeria.
It's on
Nigerians
no, it's everywhere. Is the video was out there now? They burnt ballot boxes.
Nigerians would think that our rascality it can be exported.
Which rascality?
Okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, a man was heard warning a police officer to stay alert after sensing that some hoodlums were up to something suspicious. Suddenly, the hoodlum struck. Everyone, including the police officer, fled the scene. The man who had been warning the officer could then be heard saying, "Oh, I told you to stay alert." I don't blame this officer because at the end of the day, nobody wanted to come and read about one fake eulogy about, oh, how brave and defending the constitution of Nigeria. Nobody wants to hear that one. And then the guys actually
is
have
there
their
even anyone that is ready to be
they,
prepared?
they have their family. Check this out. um mm,
Why, sir? More those people that is around this place. It's no. Ejo, Ejide, be on your feet. Sorry, sir. Those people that is around us here.
see those police officers, these ones
This
that are just
man,
chilling.
sir, be at alert. Someone is around this place. I told you. Be at alert, please. Be at alert. Ah, be at alert. See gone. See gone. I told you earlier on. I carry you. Ṣé mi sọ fún yín? Be at alert.
Wow.
Be at alert. Ah, be at alert. Look at it. I no told you. Be at alert. They carry this thing at last. Sir, officer, I told you earlier on. Oh, I told you earlier on. Be at alert. Look at it, man. Look at it.
Wow. What a sorry state of affair. What a sorry state of affair. So, well,
I'm
that
not
is Nigerian
I'm not surprised about that.
election, and right now they said they've congratulated the supposed winner. So, I don't even know what to actually say about that. But it's just it's just rather very very unfortunate. You know, INEC has actually come out to say that oh, you know, the current governor, Ayedata, that is the one that actually won. So, but things like this have actually, as for me personally, I just think it's actually tainted the victory. So I don't know if you can call that a victory, but then, but unfortunately, I don't think I can come around and start saying congratulations because that is just,
No,
and
did you realistically think that anybody will beat city governor? Power of incumbency always wins in Nigeria. I mean, I
so
don't.
then why on earth do we talk about law and order when they will now bring outside law? Why are we then chasing herdsmen and bandits and kidnappers who are supplementary negative security officer, if you can call them that?
What's the law and
You
order
know?
you're talking about?
No, I mean, look at the police officers that were supposed to be,
No,
I mean, those guys.
if there was law and order, then the level of banditry and kidnapping wouldn't be that high in Nigeria. You, I don't think you know what's going on security wise, and that's why a lot of people are scared. Because quite frankly. You know,
Mm.
in a country that has a breakdown of institutional public institutions and institutional failures, this is exactly what we see would unravel. So, you know,
So now, what we've actually got now, the next story we have is about Chidima Ade. Is it additional? She came up as a runners up in the just concluded Miss Universe. So South Africans remember that she was basically trying to represent South Africa, and they discovered that maybe one of her parents is Nigerian. So there's a whole lot of story that they said the mom is not who she says she is, that the mom is not even South African. And this lady actually grew up in South Africa basically. So our problem, I think, really started when she started, when she was taking part in South Africa, as she was actually going through, getting passing through all the different processes, as she was successful. And I felt she started celebrating by involving her, printing out her parents, or should I say, her father's involvement. So, and you know that how it is in Nigeria. So they came out and said our daughter or our daughter. So that in itself, the South African were like, wait, hang on a minute, is she from South Africa or what? You understand? There's a whole lot of things that actually took place there. So invariably, anyway, so she was forced to actually leave. So she came to Nigeria. Of course, Nigeria, kia kia, sharp sharp. They really just embraced her, and that was it. They made her her own, quickly gave her the platform, and she actually went on, to actually represent Nigeria. So basically, it's happened, and so let's look at some of the South Africans' reaction. It says South Africans have reacted to Chidima additional finish as the first runner-up at the 73rd Miss Universe competition held in Mexico City on Saturday. The 23-year-old was at the center of controversies around her citizenship during her stint as one of the contestants in the 2024 South African pageant. The beauty queen was born and raised in South Africa, but her mother is a Mozambican national and her father is Nigerian. You see, this is where the issue came now. She was eventually forced to withdraw from Miss South Africa pageant in August after the South Africa Home Affairs alleged that her parents had committed identity fraud to make her a South African citizen around the time of her
no.
birth. That is what they are saying.
If she's born in South Africa, I don't know the eligibility laws in South Africa.
The
Once
whole
she's
thing is
born,
messy, honestly.
if she's born in South Africa, I don't know
Mm,
about eligibility, citizenship
mm.
eligibility in South Africa. But
So
I would
there
assume
wasn't any
I would,
transparency.
I would check this later. But I want to assume for now that she would actually be entitled to their citizenship if she was born there. So whatever her
She was actually born there. What they said is
no,
that
what I'm
her
saying,
mom.
I don't know the eligibility rules. So, is she
Okay,
carrying a South African passport? Is she a South African citizen? I don't know
she
how
was
long
born
it
there,
takes.
she grew up there. But what they are
Because if
saying,
you are born in a country, in some countries, it doesn't entitle you to
it
the
doesn't
citizen.
exactly.
So
So
that's why I'm saying I don't know about South Africa's case.
okay,
But I would want to assume for her to want to even represent South Africa in the first place.
that she
For
must
now,
believe that she was
no,
South African.
that she must that exactly that she must be
Aha.
carrying some form of South African eligibility. So whether her parents are from the moon or Mars doesn't really matter. She was born in South Africa. Wherever you're
Look
born
at
is your
what they are saying now. You see, the South African organization, including the Progressive Forces for South Africa, had petitioned the Miss Universe organization for her to be excluded from the competition. Whilst,
she's not
can you
stateless.
imagine?
She's not stateless. So even if they don't want her, Nigeria
Yeah,
will take her.
exactly.
And by
So she
birth,
has
and
her father's land now.
by heritage,
Nigeria already automatic now.
by heritage, she's Nigerian through her father's bloodline.
Exactly. While
So
South
if they
Africa
don't
Home
want her,
Affairs,
but
they
she
said
can't
they
be
announced
stateless.
that it had begun the process to revoke our South African identity and travel document.
And
Those people
they
are
can
so
revoke,
mean.
they can. Well, it's xenophobia today in any form.
Honestly, I used to really
It's
like
it's not
South
that they are
Africa with
mean.
everything that Nigeria did, leading the charge for South Africans. But I've come to
But a lot of
understand
these
one
people
thing.
don't know history. See, this is why I always tell you, let's not mix with people.
Yeah, exactly. They
A
don't.
lot,
They don't.
that's what I was talking about
They
education the
don't.
last time.
They
A lot of people
don't.
are not
They don't.
educated enough to understand these things.
Nah,
So,
nah.
and this
This
is why, the money Nigeria spent on liberating, getting South Africa to be liberated from the apartheid regime cost Nigeria billions of dollars in oil sales, and Nigeria donated so
And
much
they will,
money.
I believe they
And
will
then
never do
Nigeria
that
was
for
giving
Nigeria.
Nigeria,
They
Nigeria
would
was.
never.
I wouldn't even
They would, they will never do that.
let's not even make that assumption. You know, but I remember Nigeria too giving a lot of scholarships to their students to come and study at places like University of Lagos, UI, and all that.
Yes, I remember that quite well.
Rhodesian and South African students.
They said
So
while
and
some
then
South African ascribe as success to education in their country, others
oh yeah,
describe her as a first loser,
even I think was it
expressing their delight that she didn't win
at a
a
certain
converted
album,
title.
he was given refugee status, asylum status in
Oh
Nigeria.
yeah, oh,
Some of the
definitely.
ANC leaders, and
Mm.
then I know how much Nigeria backed Mugabe against the British and the colonialists in Rhodesia, and they supported his guerrilla movement then that was fighting
They had
against
some
them.
support for her. It's not anyway. So I'm not trying to
So
make a sweeping
the,
statement. He said, meanwhile, some of Chidima's biggest South African supporters include Tuso Van Zee, described our success as a triumph of good over evil. And I'm not sure whether this was X, but he said, evil wanted to destroy Chidima. God elevated her. Evil will never triumph over goodness. But
amen.
but let me just say one thing. Why the name Chidima? Do you understand? So I don't know. The father obviously is Nigerian and
Yeah,
is from the southwest, at
yeah,
least from the name.
but does she have
Okay.
does she have a Nigerian passport? You have to carry that
No,
passport
no.
to the place.
The point I'm trying to make is that the mom is been established from Mozambique. Okay.
Mm.
Now, so I'm just kind of wondering why the name Chidima, because Chidima is like a Southeast name. Anyway, well, that's all. So I don't know. I'm just kind of curious. You understand when
Oh, okay. I say because the father is
it's
southwestern.
the
No,
Southwest. So
is it south? Is it
and
actually south?
and the fact, or is it that we have
Is it
or the
actually
mother?
southwestern? Is it southwestern?
Yeah, additional. That's the father's name. The father, I think, actually has full Nigerian name now.
No, I know.
Sorry, has a full Southwestern Southwest name. You know,
Or
and the surname
maybe
is
just like
additional.
maybe just likes that name.
Okay, well, okay, but well,
That's a very good name. It's God means God has
it's
done
like
something.
Rotimi Amici.
Because
You
if
know,
I
it's like
remember
saying
the
Rotimi Amici.
interpretation, some people were interpreting Igbo names the other day, and it's actually a wonderful name.
Okay.
Chimamanda, I know Chimamanda Adoche was talking about it the other day. Um,
Mm,
it actually means God has done something.
okay.
Uh,
Somebody said out of 8.2 billion people on Earth, the two most beautiful women in the universe are Victoria from Denmark and Chidima from Nigeria. No DNA, just Nigeria. So yeah, it's just you know
this is a big victory for Nigerian women.
it is, and you can see all the sour grapes in South Africa. First winner means first loser. You could just tell. I mean, a lot of stuff that was directed at this
No, but there's
girl.
always been a strong rival. You see, because Nigeria would.
I don't see that as rivalry. That is just,
No, no, no.
man.
What I was even going was there's always been a strong rivalry when it comes
For
to
me, I mean,
the
well, although
entertainment
seeing,
industry, when it
I,
comes to
I could have easily
anything
make up my
between
mind to say
Nigeria and
that
South.
if I think one of the
Because
things I would do if I meet a South African, I'll try and find out from them what their take is. If they come across to me as saying, "Oh, she should not have," or more, anyway, that day they will know that the battle will start from there.
no,
Yes, because
no,
they've maltreated our people. Of course, I know that some of our people
no.
too
There are
have,
two sides to
you
a
know,
story, exactly. So,
yeah, I know.
and nothing would
There are
justify
some
the
of our people as
xenophobia.
well.
No, nothing would
Y-
justify the xenophobia.
No, 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 no. They can't. It's not
But uh,
justifiable.
our people too need to
I
calm
almost
down.
got banned on YouTube back then when we because I carried I had some videos and I actually posted them of what they were doing now. But although that went
They
against
want
the
to ban you because those
community,
are very graphic videos.
yeah, because it was really terrible. It was when you because you can't help it but think about what Nigeria did, for South Africa. That why would these
To
people be
liberate South
breaking us,
Africa, Nigeria
will be
played a prominent.
paying us
In fact,
back this way?
I mean, remember it was a policy, a foreign policy thing that Murtala Mohammed started. It was Murtala Mohammed that started that direction for Nigeria
Hmm,
to liberate South Africa and Zimbabwe from old Rhodesia. And they followed through on those foreign policies. They didn't change.
hmm,
Even when other governments came in, they were fighting Obasanjo too. When he came in as a military leader, he continued in
Okay.
that vein. We sacrificed a lot, a lot. In fact, that was one of the reasons why Britain started issuing visas to Nigerians. That was
Okay.
one of the punitive sanctions that Margaret Thatcher brought in.
Ah, right. Okay. So
That was
that's
the
how they
thinking
came up
behind it.
with.
That was one of the. But we
Mm,
boycotted the Commonwealth Games in 1986. If I
okay.
remember properly, they was held in Edinburgh, and the British government lost a lot of money. We lost it. We led the boycott. So
Mm.
Pakistan and Ghana and some other countries followed.
So
And
that was
and
how.
Thatcher said for each one of those countries that did it, she will increase their foreign fees for students, and then they will have to get
That
visas
was
to
how they find us an easy pick to start making free money.
get into Britain. So yeah, yeah. Yeah. So it's not maybe today the punishment has been there,
Okay.
but thank God Nigeria sacrificed a lot. Nigeria sacrificed a lot for South Africa,
Mm.
and I hope the South Africans at some stage will be educated enough to understand this. We need to
Some
be
do. I
yes.
mean, obviously, she has some level of
No,
support.
I'm talking about majority of the black
Mm.
South Africans. Right now they don't, because trust me, what I know of what's happening there, a lot of them don't, and a lot of them are very unappreciative. They don't even know that Nigeria did anything for them. Don't forget
They,
that the mistake
they don't even talk about it.
yeah, well, that's because you see, an educated mind is a liberated mind.
Mm.
The biggest mistake Mandela made, and I always say it, when ANC, the whites gave ANC the chance to take over power,
Okay.
and I remember saying it at that time that if Mandela misses this trick,
Mm.
it's going to be a big walla, because every country that I've seen that has progressed had to massively educate their citizenry.
Mm.
Castro did it in Cuba. Awolowo did it in the southwest of Nigeria. An educated mind is a liberated mind.
Mm.
So we now have millions of black people in South Africa who are feeling disenfranchised, who are feeling marginalized, who are feeling hopeless, who are feeling
Yeah.
they are
Mm.
resentful because they've not been mass educated. What the ANC should have done was pump money into education, education, education.
But
And
they didn't see it like that.
30 years later now, that would have translated into well-educated black citizens that would know where they are in society and their worth in society, and they
Mm.
will have skills to be employable and not resent other people for their success.
For the success, yeah.
One
Your
of the
point
major
is spot.
one of the major reasons,
Mm.
because I have friends that are working in South Africa and I know what I'm saying. I have
Mm.
friends that have left the UK to go and work there. You know,
Mm.
in fact, one had a very nasty experience. One of them, his wife had a nasty experience. I won't
Mm.
go into full details of it, but it was horrible. But you know, but I remember a lot of them tell me, and when I engage them in conversations, because I tell them that, oh, this is what I'm observing, and they say it's true because the blacks are feeling, the masses are feeling very disenfranchised. So they're
Mm.
angry. And then they're seeing Nigerians come into their country and they're
To
driving
their
black
country, yeah.
and then
Taking up all these big
they're owning
positions and
big
everything.
properties, they're taking big positions
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
companies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's they're resentful, but they don't realize that for that Nigerian to have gotten there, it took a lot of education. It didn't just stroll in there because it's Nigerian. He
Very
strolled in
true.
there because of his
Mm.
qualifications. And a lot of these guys are in IT, they're in
Mm-hmm.
different sectors of the economy, but
And one of
predominantly
the other thing as well and I think one of the other thing as well is the psychological exposure. Nigerians, that we don't, of course, we went through our colonial history and thing. Even some part of it we're still dealing with, but we never went through the sort of. We went
no,
through some sort of oppression.
we
We
went through
did, we
no, we,
did.
but we didn't go through apartheid.
Yeah, but we didn't go there exactly because
Trust me, today
this my friend,
I have South
this my
African
friend.
friends.
Yeah, no, no, I totally get it. One of
I
my
have South African
neighbors
friends, and
went to
they're
South
scarred by
Africa.
this.
He's an engineer. Went to South Africa a couple of years ago, maybe like about 10 years ago, and he told me, he was there for like I think about 2 years. There was a different. There were other educated South Africans, in
Mm,
position of leadership in the organization that he was actually working with then.
mm,
Now, he said, but there was this thing still that even though these guys were educated, right, there was always this aura that he found out in the office when they're having meetings that most of the black educated guys, not all of them, he said the majority were not really talking, they were not speaking up. So then they look at this cocky Niger guy that came from London, and this guy, he
it's
said it
challenging
was just
everybody. Yeah,
he was just challenging them, telling them because he had some white people that report to him,
yeah.
and the way he was, he was just lambasting them for on some occasion, and he just didn't have any, he wasn't carrying any baggage, and it was soon clear. You understand?
I've got a
So and
British trade now, so you speak up. Yeah.
so and he said that the South African was like, you are speaking to Muzungu like that. He said,
Mm.
well, speaking to who?
That's the
No,
mentality they have. Yeah,
you understand? Like, what the heck are you talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
And
Because
he
I have
was
a
the one.
Colombian and South
He
African
started
friends that
schooling them, encouraging them that look, you guys speak up. Do you understand that why do you, but you now realize that it was deeply ingrained.
It's sad when a society is oppressed to that
and
level.
and
So
even those of the South Africans that
what
can
you
speak up,
produce,
do you understand? A
yeah,
lot of the South Africans that can speak up, do you know what the issue is with them? The problem with a lot of that actually speak up is that they don't make the stringent effort of having um um some initiatives, programs that could help to empower and lift other South Africans.
yeah, because not many people are like Mandela. That's the problem South Africa has.
The
I
South
mean,
Africans, they themselves, he said,
look at where Thabo Mbeki, look at
he
where
said,
this guy, this is their last president,
to
Zuma.
me, I okay.
Zuma just chopped money and just forgot the whole country.
To me,
You know,
I think a lot
so
of the educated South Africans, for a lot of them, they are not prepared to empower their people. They're not simply. In
that's
fact,
exactly what I'm saying.
they act like Muzungu to some of their older
That's what
people
I'm
as
saying
well.
because they've been born into that system. They've not. Then the biggest mistake, God bless his
Mm,
memory, Mandela made. Mandela would have liberated South Africa on that level. He should have just done study what Awolowo did in the Southwest and replicated it in South Africa. South Africa would be a much better society today. I'm telling you, 30 years later, because you would have a huge resource you can tap
mm,
into. Right now, you have a huge army of disgruntled youths that can riot anytime because they don't have any hope. But if you
mm,
educate them, if you empower them with skills, they will contribute to the economy, the development of the economy. That's
mm,
the flip side of this thing, and that is where Mandela sadly missed the trick. And then the people that came after him, Thabo Mbeki and Zuma, they still didn't recognize. I thought Thabo Mbeki would even do it, but he didn't. I know that Zuma could never have done it because he was just interested in his own
and
pocket.
making money.
Yeah.
That
So,
was a making money machine.
and I don't know how black leaders are like this sometimes because I don't know where you want to take this money to. If you don't empower your
Mhm,
people and you want to take,
mhm.
you take this. I don't understand the madness. So, millions of disgruntled youths now are now, I mean, the carjacking in South Africa, you can't be in the traffic light. You need to be aware of what's going on around you. You could
That
get
one is
carjacked.
crazy. That one is just
In fact,
crazy.
they said that they follow people from the airport. If you are very affluent, there
Mm,
was a time they were targeting Nigerians from the airport and apparently attacking them. So there's a lot.
wow.
So
Okay, well, it's been a pleasure. I know that time is fast spent, so
yes,
I think tomorrow again, by the grace of God, so we'll be down here again. So I just want to say thank you guys for actually hanging with us, and you know we'll be here again tomorrow. So from
let's
me,
do so.
Olatunde. Okay,
And from me, I can have a good night, folks, and have a blessed week.
okay then. All right. Okay. I hope you won't be dreaming about football.
No, Arsenal are annoying me at the moment.
I
So
said, I'm not you. Okay, all right, okay. Let me. You know me, I'm very flexible when it comes to changing club.
I know you just change like the wind. A little
Is
while.
whoever is winning. That
I
I
know
am. I am for them right now. I have
I'm,
changed now.
I am,
I am
I am,
like Biden now. I'm like Biden. If
I am
whatever
Arsenal.
goes,
I am Arsenal till I die.
yes.
God knows for life.
All right then. Good night
All right. Good
and
night, folks.
God bless, guys.
Uh,
Okay then. All right.
bye.
Cheers.